is what we're going to talk. We're going to talk step by step what happens. So please make a note of important points. Most of the points that we are discussing today are in your state of meditation. When you are sitting in meditation, how you should be, what are the things that you should be observing, and what happens, what state is what. And the conversation today is going to be twofold. One is, Buddhist meditation of Anapanasati, and then I'm also going to cover a little bit on the Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Okay. So we will make a journey from an individual or a seeker or an aspirant coming and sitting for meditation, and then go through each state, what happens, and eventually how he gets into Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Not Savikalpa, we'll go to the Nirvikalpa Samadhi. And then how the life gets impacted after that. Because ultimately, after the Nirvikalpa Samadhi, once you come out of that Samadhi, your life is still there. You still have a life to lead, your daily life, right? So that is still a daily thing. So how does that reflect? What does it mean? I went into Nirvikalpa Samadhi in my meditation, and now I am back and leading my life. How would that be? So we'll try to cover both aspects of it just to get a feel as to how this process works. So initially, if you start, right, let's start looking at how do I prepare myself, okay? A journey from starting my Anapanasati and going to Nirvikalpa Samadhi. And there may be things that may be happening little more or less because I'm using my experience to connect to the subject here. It's my wisdom. So, some masters may have deeper level experiences. Some masters may have a different type of experiences. But more or like what I'm covering, generally we'll see this. Generally we'll see this before you enter into that Samadhi state. So, the first state that every one of us should be prepared, which is called preparation of the body and then the environment where you are sitting, right? You sit in a stable posture and you prepare the body, number one, right? What happens when I do that? What is the process of doing it? This is where a lot of confusion comes, right? We talk about asana siddhi, especially in the Patanjali Yoga Sutras, we talk about asana siddhi, right? How do I get my asana siddhi? The way you want to look at it is asana siddhi does not come by sitting one time. Asana siddhi is something that you do in a continuous process every single day, consistently, in a particular posture that you sit. And when you become used to that posture over a period of time, then you get into that shift. Right? So I want to keep my spine relaxed, comfortable. My body, should become at some point very symmetrical. The way I'm clasping my fingers, the way I am crossing my foot, and the way I'm sitting, whether I'm using a pillow on the chair or I'm sitting on the down with the sukhasana and whatever, right? Your hands should be very relaxed. Your eyes should not be closed very hard. Your eyes always should be closed very gently. There is a gentle state that you have to close your eyes. And then your breath becomes very normal, right? This is very important because if your body is not stable, if your body is not prepared, meditation is not going to happen because body plays a very, very key role. I'm not saying that your body has to be, physically, you have to physically very strong, or I'm not saying that your body should be like a gym body or anything like that. What I'm saying is your body should be relaxed enough, your body should be comfortable, your body should have a posture. You should have a posture that you're used to, a stable posture that you're used to. That way you're preparing yourself to the shift, whatever is coming, right? Because when your body starts to relax in the posture that you're sitting, what is happening is the body sends the signal to your nervous system that it is safe to relax. Until that happens, there is no relaxation of the body. So it is very important that we understand that you trying to bring your body for meditation. You got to make sure that you are comforting the body, making sure that it's stable. You're going into a car, like as example, right? You are parking a car. Okay, what do you do when you before you park a car, in a parking lot or in a mall or someplace, right? You got to make sure that before you switch off your car and take out things from car, you got to make sure that it is on the line, it is perfectly aligned, it is not crossing, it is not crisscross, right? You got to make sure it is on the line. You have to do certain things to make sure that everything is in line, then only you switch off your engine and say, okay, I'm ready to go, right? So if the body keeps moving, if the body is not sitting in a very comfortable or a stable posture, mind cannot settle. That's the thing. A lot of times, questions come my way saying that, I'm not able to relax. I'm not able to, bring my attention towards my breath because I have to move. My body, I cannot sit for long like this. So what do I do? The only answer for that is practice. You have to practice to make sure that your body sits in that posture, whether you're sitting for 1 hour, 2 hours, whatever, right? Your hands are very relaxed, your foot is very relaxed, your overall posture is stable, to make sure that you're starting the breath awareness meditation, anapanasati. Now what happens? Okay, let's take to the next step. Okay, now I got my body taken care. I am able to sit and I'm very stable in my body posture. Now what happens? Right? Immediate thing what happens is everybody starts to say that, okay, now you got to observe your breath. Is really observing breath happens at that state? The answer is no. Your attention moves to the natural breathing. That's all it is. Okay, at that very moment, first time when you come and sit to do meditation, you bring your body, you relax it, and you say, okay, I'm going to start now. At that point, you're focusing, your mind is focusing on the breath. After couple of breathing cycles, couple of them, like maybe two of them or three of them or five of them, whatever your comfortable state is. After that, then what happens? You will simply start to observe the inhalation and the exhalation process without control. Initially you will have control, after some time you will have no control. This is the most important thing. You do not modify the breath. This is the mantra. For Anapanasati, this is the mantra. Right? So if you really want the Anapanasati meditation, then you do not modify the breath. If you are trying to modify the breath, if you are trying to take it up, down, and all, that is all pranayama. That has nothing to do with meditation. Right? What Anapanasati meditation is all about is observing the breath as it happens, without any control, and you do not modify your breath. Like it's like, watching the waves on the ocean. You don't create them, you simply observe them. That's exactly how the analogy is. That's exactly how you should look at it. When you are sitting in the meditation, in the second state, you are starting to observe your breath. When you are ready to observe your breath, you're just becoming the observer. That's it. If you're not feeling your breath, you take one or two deep breaths, then you start to feel the breath. That is okay. But once you get to that stable state, once you start to observe it, let that happening of breath go, inhale and exhale on its own. You don't modify it, you don't shorten it, or you don't lengthen it, or you don't, the quality of the breath is most important there. Right? So what happens when I start? This is the next state, right? Now my mind is now starting to observe my breath. Okay, you moved into that next phase of it. You are trying to stabilize your attention. This is by far the most where everybody gets distracted, right? The step 3 is stabilizing attention. I'm trying to stabilize my attention. I got my body thinking, taken care. I got my mind. Now I am trying to stabilize my mind on the breath. Immediately, what happens the moment you are trying to stabilize your attention on the breath, your mind begins wandering. What are the typical distractions? Anyone?
Unfinished work. I have to do this or I have to do that.
Correct, correct. Till that time, you will not have anything. The moment your attention, you are trying to stabilize your attention, the mind starts
Yes.
to create distractions. Thoughts, your memories, your planning, the one that you're talking, different types of sounds, external sounds, internal sounds, right? You repeatedly, okay, this is the most important thing. What we do is we have to repeatedly bring our attention back to breath. Why am I doing it? The reason why it is important to bring your attention back to breath very gently, not forcing yourself, is to develop concentration. Is to develop concentration, to make sure that your mind is getting one pointed with your breath. Because without that, you cannot go into the deeper states. That state is a must. So whatever may be your thoughts, whatever may be your memories, your worries, or whatever you're holding in your mind, and the distractions of all types of distractions, once you are settling yourself, everything that is happening at that time, you are gently cutting it off, bringing your attention repeatedly back again back to your breath. If this does not happen in a sequence, then you will not be able to enter into the meditation state. It is like, you are training a puppy, right? When you're training a puppy, each time it runs away, you bring it back and have her sit on the circle, right? Hey, you do not go without my permission. It goes away, bring it back. It goes away, bring it back. Like that, you continuously train it, and over a period of time, the puppy is trained. Now, you don't chain the puppy anymore. You just take it with you, and then whenever you say sit, it will sit wherever it is, right? So that is how you are training your mind. This is where most of the time we get a lot of impatient. Meditation is all about patience, right? But we get impatient and we get distracted and we get little agitated, and frustrations also will be there because I'm sitting, my mind is wandering. I don't want my mind to wander. I want my mind to settle on my breath. That way I can experience that happening and the observation, but does not happen the way you think. You will get distracted. You will get distracted repeatedly. And all you have to do at this state is be patient, bring your attention again and again back to your breath. What happens after, which is this is also the next phase of it, right? What happens, I'm just giving a scenario, what happens if my breath is on an attentive, my mind is an attentive state of my breath, right? So as you start your attention onto your breath, slowly the reduction of the mental noise, you will start to see a lot of reduction of your mental noise. After some time, what happens is your thought frequencies, the thought frequency will start to come down. You have to observe this. You can observe this actually. Every one of you here, right, on this session today, please observe it. You will be able to see the frequency of your thoughts reduce. Not only that, when the moment you start to observe your breath, or put your attention on the breath in a continuous flow, your breath becomes slower. What else? Anyone? What else happens at this state? As you start observing your breath, what else you observe? You saw in your own meditations. It becomes slower. What else?
No thoughts are there.
No thought is happening, right? Thoughts frequency. No thought is not there. Not
You
there.
feel
You're not there yet. That phase has not come yet. Your thought frequency is started to reduce.
yeah.
At this time, what happens to your breath? Have any of you observed? When your thoughts are reducing, the mental noise is getting reduced. Your
You feel
thoughts.
peace. You feel the inner peace.
No, what is the state of your breath? That's the question.
Slowly, it becomes
Slow.
really slow,
Correct.
and at some point, you may not feel the breath at all.
That's where you're going. You're not there yet. But what happens is three things will happen. One is if you start to observe this, your breath becomes slower. Number one, your breath becomes lighter. Typically, when you're outside, your breath is little heavier because you are carrying a lot of it, right? Whatever is coming from out, whatever is taking in, this process is a continuous process. Because you're not doing belly breathing, it is not lighter, it is a heavier breath, right? So typically that's what it, but when you start to observe it, it becomes lighter. Not only that, it also becomes smoother, right? Your brain activity, this is the scientific term, right? The brain activity at this state, the moment your mental noise comes down, your thought frequency reduces, what happens is a shift happens towards your brain activity, which moves into the alpha and theta patterns. Your brain is no longer in the beta. It moves into the alpha state. The next inner, you're starting to feel that experience now. Without that shift happening, whatever you are talking earlier about, I am calm, I am relaxed, I feel like I'm grounded, all that won't be there. Because your breath has become lighter, your breath has become smoother, and it is actually very, very calm, slower, right? It has become very slow. Gradually it is happening because mind has started to attentively look at it, observe it. So you start to feel the calmness. You started to feel in the body level very relaxed, and you feel like you're grounded. Right? A simple analogy for this is like, you take a glass of water, you put mud on it. Okay. And then what happens after the mud settles in the water? That is the state you are. Right. When the mud gets settled, the plain water, what you see in the top, is the state that you are in now. At this state, you are in a very calm, very balanced state. Right? Now, as you go deeper to the next state, if you continue to be observing your breath, so what happens? Slowly you're getting into the body sensations where you're starting to feel it initially, then slowly they start to fade away. Okay? Because body awareness is getting dissolved. You're getting deeper now. This is where you start to see different kinds of experiences. Hey, my body, I felt lightness. I felt like floating. I felt like, expansion. My body is like expanding. I have very subtle vibrations that are happening in my body at different parts of my body. My left side, I see some kind of activity. My right side, I see some kind of activity. You observe that inner sensations, and slowly the sensations start to shift. Right? What is happening at this state is because your attention is now fully on your breath, you are no longer in the physical boundary. The body's boundary, the physical body's boundary begins to dissolve. So you're getting into the deeper state. This is very important, right? What happens, if you sit, you are wearing full clothes, you go into a tub and you sit for 30 minutes. So what happens after 10-15 minutes, you don't feel like you're wearing clothes, right? A similar kind of an experience. This is the shift. This is now you are no longer in the physical state of it. You are now moving into the next state, inner next state. This is very important, right? Now, what happens at this state, right? Whatever that awareness that you are trying to bring in, and whatever your breath synchronization, right? They both are coming together now. The body, the mind synchronization, continuous breath and mind synchronization, the breath and the awareness, whatever you are trying to expand your awareness, now you are moving deeper into your body, beyond the state of body, right? What happens now is you're breathing that awareness. You are breathing awareness itself. You're no longer like I'm watching the breath. That mind has started. The next state of it is, as you continue to observe the breath, as the breath slows down, breath shortens, breath slowly dissolves, your mind also slowly starts to dissolve. That synchronization happens. And the moment mind is starting to dissolve, the awareness is expanding. You're no longer watching the breath. You're breathing awareness itself. Attentions become absolutely steady at this state. This is most important in the meditation. Every one of us have to experience it, right? So if I am not able to get to this experience, then you are not letting your mind settle in that state. You have to allow the mind to settle for you to get to this state, right? Like you are in an ocean and you are sailing on a boat, right? The boat is sailing continuously without any shifts or anything, just going like a, surfer riding a wave, like that, right? It just, the ride, the wave is continuously coming, the surfer is continuously going. Like the way the waves are coming, the boat is continuously going. That is how you will start to feel it is just happening, that attention becomes steady, right? At this state is when you will start to feel that awareness. Until this time, that awareness is still there at a physical level. Now you're moving into the subtle level of awareness. This is very important. That shift is very important. Then what happens is your breath becomes extremely finer. Lot of times we get questions on this. Okay, I don't feel my breath. I felt like my breath stopped. Right? Subtle breathing. The perception that I am still breathing, right? That subtle breathing level you go into, it is very, very subtle. At this point, this is where the knowledge comes in handy. You should know that breath is still happening. It is just that your awareness is beyond that. We should not panic. If you panic, you come back to your physical body. The body continuously is breathing automatically. Your awareness has shifted beyond the body. That's why you start to not feel it. And then it is going from the breath as well, right? Because the breath is trying to get dissolved. Mind is becoming, now at this state is when your mind is becoming, as you continue to observe, your breath is disappearing, your breath has stopped, but your body is still breathing, the awareness is still there. This is where you get into the deep concentration. This is where we call the threshold of samadhi, right? Mind has become one-pointed. It has not lost yet. It has become one-pointed. This is what we call ekagrata. Eka plus agrata is ekagrata. You have to get to this point. This is the most important point. Right? Our practice has to bring us to this point, because at this point the thoughts become very rare. The gap between the thoughts has increased now, right? Thoughts are very, very rare to come. You will start to feel that time has slowed down. You go into the deeper silence, that inner peace, whatever we are talking, right? You will start to feel that at this state, when mind has become one pointed and it is steady with the breath together. The way you take a candle light and then you put it in a room, right, where there is no heavy wind, and you close the windows and door, and when you look at it, how steady the candle light will be, that is how you have become. This is when, if you get to this state, is when you start to get the inner phenomena, appearance of the inner phenomena. Because a lot of times you probably are hearing from so many meditation masters that I have seen light, I have seen colors, I have seen some patterns, some kind of vibrative, blissful activity happened, and all of that is happening at this state, right? Your mind, these are the mind purifying signals, very, very important. That inner light, the color, geometric patterns, vibrations. In the meditation tradition, we call these nimittas. Nimittas should never be chased. Remember this. Nimittas, inner light, colors, geometric patterns, vibrations, blissful waves. You're just there. Just observe. Just observe. Let everything come and go. Just observe. If you, most of the time we get carried away by one of the nimittas, and then we go do whatever we do, and then we come back whenever we can, or most likely meditation is done at that point. You will have to come back again tomorrow and then sit and then go through the same thing. Now, if you are not carried away with the nimittas and you are still focused, observing in that state, then the dissolution of the identity happens. I am the meditator. The one who actually came and sat in meditation starts to weaken. This is the shift. Your attention becomes very refined. You are no longer having that strong feeling that I am the meditator. It starts to weaken. Your experience, your breath is happening on its own. Awareness wise, you are just observing. There is no personal controller anymore. If this does not happen, then you will not be able to get to that next state. These are very important. 7 to 10 are very important. Most of the time we get carried away. Between the 2, 3, 4 we carry away. 7, 8, 9, 10 we get carried away. If we are able to successfully go through these and you do not carry away with the nimittas, then you start to dissolve your identity in meditation. Again, this identity is very temporary. You are not, once you are coming out of meditation, you will still have the identity. The ego is not gone yet. This is a temporary state that you are enjoying because your mind has become one pointed in the breath, and then you are absolutely in that awareness. Yeah, go ahead, ma'am. Sushma, madam, go ahead.
Yeah. So, sir, first question is nimitta, everybody observe get into nimitta, like this, they feel nimittas like the one you were talking about? Is
You
it
will.
necessarily?
No, it is not about necessary. You will have something, right? the attributes of your body and mind, there is some activity that you will have. Sometimes you will only have vibrations, sometimes you will have subtle feelings inside of. Sometimes you may have an emotional outburst, right? So it can be in any form or any fashion that you will go through it. Some of them observe, like a light coming in, or colors, or forest, whatever, right?
Okay.
But yes,
And
yes, you will most likely have it. Either you will have it very subtly, or you will have it, very kind of, effective way of it. But either, it may very well be so that you may not have your awareness on that yet, right?
okay.
So it is very hard to say that, okay, whether it happens, not happens. Some say that, okay, these things, if it is not happening for you, if you're not able to be in that awareness, then you may have passed it too, right? That may be the case too.
Okay.
So it is a combination of all that, right? But nimittas is the most important, right? You should become like a sky watching the cloud, right?
Got it.
That is how it is. It is very important. Without this, the witness consciousness will not come to you.
Okay. Got it. Thank you, sir.
So what happens at this stage is, once you have that watching the cloud thing, you're just witnessing the whole thing. Now you get into the sakshi sthiti, pure observer state. This is the real purpose of meditation, right? You have become a pure observer. You are observer of everything, whatever is happening at this state in your entire system. Thoughts may appear, but they have absolutely no power anymore. You can really see the thought is arising and thought is dissolving. And you know that you are not the thoughts. If you look at some of the masters, right? The teachings of Ramana Maharshi or Nisargadatta Maharaj, I am that I am, right? The concept of I am, this is where it comes down to. You are not the thoughts that are coming. Thought is only a concept that is happening in your mind. You have nothing to do with it. You are the one who is watching it. That witness consciousness is what you are experiencing here in the deeper state of meditation. If you are able to allow the happening process continuously from your first physical level into the subtle bodies, then you will get to this. This is the most important thing. If this does not come to us, then the dissolution does not happen. Thought dissolution does not happen, which is what we call savikalpa samadhi. Right? This is where you will feel bliss, stillness, silence, deep inner silence. There is very, because in the difference between savikalpa and nirvikalpa is, in the savikalpa, there is still a very subtle knower. Very subtle knower. Okay, you are experiencing all that, whatever you are getting it. That's why this is called savikalpa, right? There is still that savi process is still there, right? There is still little bit connection that you still have it in a very lighter level, subtle level. Okay, awareness is also faintly remains in that state. So you are like, you are in the blissful state. You are like, you don't want to, you are just there, like. This is when your breath becomes extremely subtle. The next phase is where, after you get into the savikalpa sthiti, this is the most important state, right? This is like a one of the milestones in meditations, getting into the savikalpa sthiti. If you are able to get into this state, this is when we often, like, where you see is your breath and mind are stop interacting to each other, right? Your breath has become extremely subtle, and then your awareness has shifted away from breath in entirety. Now your awareness is no longer on the breath. You have moved out from the breath. You are no longer controlled by that scenario of what you have started yourself. When you came here, you came and you putting your attention into the breath, and that observing, all that is now starting to get away, right? It is now what is happening is, at this state, after the savikalpa, slowly your awareness is resting in the existence itself, right? Breath is no longer the anchor anymore. Awareness is where you are now. Your attention is on the awareness now, right? This leads this is the state that, most of the masters, right? If you look at advanced meditators and all, this is where they are, right? Their awareness is on that, right? Breath is no longer the anchor, and then you are like, it's like your awareness is self-luminous, right? You're just in that state like that. This is where you actually take away that subject object duality. The most critical state in the meditation happens here, right? Every one of us, we talk about that oneness concept, right? You are not there yet, but this is where it happened. The observer, the observation, and the observed, they both come, and all three of them come and collide into one. There is no inside, there is no outside, there is no meditator, there is no meditation. You're just there. A beautiful state where meditators would sit for hours. They don't want to come out of this phase. No matter what is happening externally, no matter what is happening internally, they are just in that state, the state of being. Right? If we are able to bring them together, if you sit in this state, the subject object duality is coming to, with the collapsation of all three coming together, observer, observation, and observed coming together, slowly you get into that silence. Mind enters into complete stillness now, if we allow it to happen. There is no like subject object anymore, right? There is nothing happening there. No thoughts. All thoughts are gone now. No thought will arise. The concept of that you are sitting, you are meditating, and you are do all that is gone, right? This is not sleeping. This silence, what you're experiencing, often people tend to look at it saying that, okay, I don't know what happened, I went into very deep state, I don't know, maybe I was sleeping. No, if you have really gone through this phase of it, it is not sleeping. It is called full awareness, emptiness, fully aware in that emptiness. Don't think emptiness is nothingness. There is even, it's not nothingness, it is emptiness, right? Now what is happening, that awareness what you are, now it is going, the next is it is going, and now it will start to rest on this emptiness, this great emptiness, the infinite potential consciousness, the universal consciousness, the pure, illuminous source of everything, right? That is where you're going. It's called, in the Buddhic world, we call it Mahapatra Sunya Sthiti. Without this phase of your awareness shifting on the emptiness, you cannot go into the state of nirvikalpa sthiti. Nirvikalpa sthiti won't come without you getting into that. That's why there is a gap between savikalpa and nirvikalpa. This is, we call this like mahasunya sthiti. Sunya is the earlier part of it. Now you are getting into the mahasunya sthiti. This is where you become boundless by space. You have the infinite stillness. You will become a timeless presence. There is like so many terms that you can put it out here, right? If we do not come from Savikalpa into this state of Mahasunya, Nirvikalpa Samadhi is not possible, because you are still have an identity, or you are still limited in your state of being. That being has to come oneness, that is Nirvikalpa. Right? So for that to happen, this state has to come in the meditation. So, as you go deeper, you will start to feel that, okay, that is how you come out, and then you do a lot of things that are no longer, it doesn't really make sense. Why you are serving, why you are doing, extremely putting service as a priority. People may not understand, or people may not comprehend to the fact that why this is, this is going this way, why Patriji did what we did. A lot of them use their logic mind, they'll never get that until you get to this state, because now you're starting to experience that oneness everywhere. In the Nirvikalpa sthiti, so the difference between the Savikalpa and Savikalpa, there is a very slight knower, very slight knower. Because of that, you are able to get your answers, you are able to get information, you are able to receive things, and all that is happening. But after this Mahasunya sthiti, where your awareness is now on the emptiness, which is the source of it, now you get into the state of Nirvikalpa sthiti. Mind completely dissolves at this state, the real state. This is the state that we all aspire. This is what Patriji talks about. This is what Patanjali talks about, Buddha talks about, everybody talks about. Mahaparisunya sthiti. No identity, no memory, no thoughts. You have become beyond the state of time. No body senses. Only pure consciousness remains. Like Patriji, Buddha, great masters like Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, Ramana Maharshi. Like, some of them who have gone very deep into their state of being only experience Nirvikalpa Samadhi Sthiti, because this is the last of its state. In that state of you sitting and closing your eyes, you have ended it. There is no longer for you to do anything more than that. Beyond that, there is nothing. You can sit there like that forever. But the beauty is, you're not going to sit there forever. At some point, you're going to come out of it. So, this is the beauty of meditation, right? Meditation, when nothing is working, your senses, your mind, your body, you're trying to bring everything narrowed down. During that time, you're able to experience this Savikalpa and Nirvikalpa sthiti. Now, that same sthiti, whatever you have got when everything was, in a lighter mode, now coming out to the world, you are now having everything open. Right? Everything is working now. Now you have to transform. Right? That's the beauty of it. As long as you are in the Nirvikalpa sthiti, Samadhi sthiti, and you are there for that. That's it. Because mind is no longer there. You are the pure consciousness. You can sit there for whatever time you want to sit. But that is not going to give you that enlightenment what you're looking, right? You will return from that Samadhi state at some point when the meditation ends, right? What happens when my meditation ends? Slowly my mind starts to appear again. The first thing that will happen is your subtle awareness start to come out. Slowly you'll start to sense your breath. Breath sensation will come your way. The body feelings start to come out. And once you are in that body state, you are able to feel all that. Slowly the environment will start to come in. But you will notice that something has changed permanently within you, because you went into that state of Samadhi. This is where the after effects, right? If you look at a lot of the grand masters who talk about after going into the Samadhi, what happens is that which they carried before, that no longer is there. Whatever that drama that they carry within here, that is no longer there. Now they have realized that it is all happening in this space. They have come to this space. Once you experience that pure consciousness, you're no longer in the mind space, you're in the heart space. With that, there is a beautiful shift that happens, right? You will no longer have the fear. You no longer feel like, you need to worry. There is no absolute reaction to your ego. You will have a very, very reduced ego. You have a clarity on your perception. You will have peace effortlessly because you are in the heart space now. Heart space is where the peace is there. That effortlessly you are experiencing that peace. You are in a deeper compassion, right? Lot of things will help you to lead the life in a beautiful way, joyful way, celebration, right? Life is no longer a pain. Life is no longer hard. Life is no longer a survival. You are actually a liberated being. You're like almost there. So every time we are sitting in meditation, we have to start to see to ourselves that am I progressing in my own state of being to get to that oneness, or am I not there at the being either, right? Coming to the being is a milestone. After you come to the being, it's not end. From there, you have to become that oneness. When we don't understand this, what happens? You get carried away with the nimittas. And then we think that that is meditation. We have seen like meditators going 2-3 years into one of the nimittas and then just enjoying that as the outcome of meditation. That's why I'm there, right? At that point, mind is still playing, right? So for us to get from that start of what you said, okay, I'm sitting in meditation now, and then saying that, okay, now I'm done with meditation, this whole process has to happen. Sometimes it may take in a single stake of it if you have already been in your previous lifetimes. Sometimes it takes effort in each state. You may take probably a couple of years or a couple of days depending upon where you are it. If anybody is coming and telling you that your meditation is this, meditation is that, then it is not right. No one can tell. There are so many things that happening has so many effects within all our bodies, 7 bodies, 6 bodies, that it is not practical for anybody to line up saying that this is what happened, this is what happened. It's not. It just there's too much of activity that happens when you close your eyes and observe your breath. Right? While your body is dissolving, your thoughts are reduction. While your attention is stabilizing, while your breath is, the body and mind is getting unified. You are subtle. Your breath is becoming very subtler. You are getting into a deeper state of concentration. You are starting to feel that inner phenomena. Your identity starts to weaken. Your witness consciousness state start to. I mean, so many things are happening. In a very spontaneous way, one after other, one after other, depending upon where you are in your own sadhana. It is not practical for anybody to look at it and say, oh, this is what is happening. But anyone who has been there will be able to guide to say that, no, that is where you are stuck. If you are not able to get to that Sakshi Bhava, right, that witness consciousness, then you are carried away. The true meditation, whether it is Vedantic meditation or, Buddha's Anapanasati Patriji meditation, you have to get to that state of witness, because that witness is what is the soul, the experience of soul. You have it throughout the time, but you got distracted in the first few phases. But once you have stabilized it and you are that, then you start to experience the energy, experience the soul, experience everything that has to come from the soul consciousness. That's very, very important for you to retain it. Otherwise, you will always fall back. It may also happen that one time you may get into that state, next time you may be struggling. It is very likely to happen. If your mind has too much of activity after the fact and you have stopped doing your practice in the assumption that I already got to Savikalpa, Nirvikalpa Sthiti, I don't have to do it, then that again brings you down, back to square one, physical body. So this is a very important, the reason why we are talking about this is, as much as you can learn the knowledge of it, how this whole thing happens, ascension happens, how the divine oneness works, what are my steps towards ascension, all that is good. But how does it happen in meditation? This is how it happens in meditation. The one that we are using, how does it work? This is exactly how it works. And there is a lot of each phase you can explore and then go very deep into each of it. What happens when this happens, when chakra opens, where does my chakra activity, every part of it, there is chakra activity, there is energy, tissue cleansing process happens, the siddhis come your way when the witness consciousness is happening, when the mind is trying to dissolve itself. It is going to give you all the powers, whatever it can, to make sure that it can distract you from the final truth. So there are like so much of distraction that happens. If you are able to successfully pass through all of it, then you get into that deep state, and that's where your knowledge comes in handy. You have to have the right knowledge for you to be able to go to that state. Make sure that you're not distracted in your own practice. Right? Any questions? I know this is a very deep subject and each of us have our own experience, but I just want to give you the glimpse as to what happens.
Anil sir, I have a question.
Yes,
So until last week, I went to void. I feel the vibrations here and everything. Suddenly this week, 3 days back, it moved to here, and I could see the vibrations here. Something is happening here from here, no longer here. So what is that meaning actually?
as long as it is happening,
Mm-hmm.
you are allowing it to happen, you are fine. Number
Yeah,
one, that's the most
yeah,
important thing. You should allow it to
yes,
happen. If
yes,
you
I'm allowed.
interfere, if you interfere, then that is no longer happening because you are controlling.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So typically, energies when they are entering into the system, they usually enter from here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you also have this is the knowledge chakra, right? So there is also
Right.
knowledge coming. There is also, you feel energies here, right? Sensations are there. So
Yes.
it can mean multiple things. If you are in the deepest state of your meditation, then you are hitting that Sahasrara, is a natural way progression where your chakras are starting to align and you're starting to feel. That is a deeper state, in advanced level, you will have that as one of the experience, right? It is very common
Yes.
that you see a lot of energy, a lot of movements happening in the
Yeah.
Sahasrara,
Correct. I used to feel here moments, but now it
right?
shifted to here.
Right. So that is
So,
that is that can be the case, or it is also that you are receiving the energies,
mm-hmm.
from your, because energies point is, this is one of the energy point, right? The entering point. So when
Mm-hmm.
that energies are coming into your system, you started to feel here because there is a process or some activity happening. That energy, that pure energy that is coming in, the cosmic energy, once it starts to enter, it tries to do or work on the area here, right? In the region,
Mm-hmm.
in your brain and whatever, right? In that frictious process, you will also see little bit of movements.
Okay.
It is also possible. It is also possible. So it can be in any way, like, but the one thing that you have to remember is you should let it happen.
Yes. That is,
You have to be able to witness it.
yes.
So when all that goes away is when you get into the bliss, right? All that subtle movements and everything has to go. You got to go into that inner state of peace.
Mm-hmm.
That is when you will, whatever is happening, but you are not, you're no longer attached to it. You're no longer, you're like, you're just there. That's it.
Yeah.
Right? That's the phase we have to get to.
And even if I'm sleeping now, just couple of days, even I'm sleeping also, I could feel the sensing here like this. Here.
Even at the sleeping, sometimes, your head is like this, right? Head is sleeping on a wall like this, and then it is little bit here, then the energies will enter. Because as long as
Yeah.
the head is right, the energies will enter. When your mind gets emptied, or between the thought to thought, the energies enter, right? So you may
Yeah.
have feeling even outside of it. Because when you hit a certain frequency,
Mhm.
you may have an activity, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm getting within 1 minute. I feel that if I sit calmly for 1 minute or just slay, calm down, then immediately I'm going to that phase now since
Good.
3 days.
Good, man. Good. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. You're
Yeah.
on the right path, on right track, but continue to do it. Don't analyze too much.
Mm.
That's very
Okay.
important, because your mind is so powerful that it will drag you out from your state of being. It will drag you out, not just take you out, it will drag you out. That is the power of
Mm.
mind, right? That's why when you read some of the masters who talk about mind, right, it is absolutely not an easy task. It requires a lot of practice and a lot of understanding to make sure that you're not giving power inherently, either consciously or unconsciously. You should never give power to your mind. The purpose of meditation is to weaken the mind, not to make the mind more stronger. Unfortunately, when you get carried away with some of these experiences, you are making your mind more stronger than what it is. At which point,
Mm.
meditation, this and all that is not going to happen.
Okay. So how do we know that I'm not making strong mind?
Just be, like I said, right? Just be
Mm.
there. You have to become to that Sakshi Bhava. You have to.
Okay. Okay.
That is the goal for all of us. Every one of us, when you sit in meditation, you have to come to that. I am just a witness. That's it.
Mhm.
I am the one doing meditation. I am the one seeing it. I am the one, giving that power, that mind. I am the one receiving information. I am processing it. All that has to dissolve. Because ultimately it is the oneness, right? Soul consciousness is one. So
Mm.
you may not get there today, but at least, here we should know, right? That, okay, there is something called that state. That is the purpose of meditation. When you clearly understand and hold on to it, all the other things, whatever is coming to you, will fade away, will go
Mhm.
away. You are giving power to them by focusing on them. It's a very, very important point. I'll give you this one thing. I'll give you. I mean, remember this. Okay, your mind is a concept. Agree?
Yes.
Right? We all agree that mind is a concept. So what happens? My mind has created a negative thought. Okay, just an example.
Mm.
What happens at this state? You sat in
Yeah.
meditation.
All. Yeah.
Your mind
All.
has given you a negative thought. What happened at this stage? The concept of mind has given you a negative thought.
Then it will. I mean, kids keep thinking about negatives. When it will be going into negative direction, then.
Two things happen. It's very important points. Two things happen. Because mind is a concept, the first thing is your attention went into that thought, right? The thinking of that negativity, whatever it is. Because your attention went into that, there is half of the energy that goes into that, and that thing goes up.
Mm.
That negativity, because your attention went into that, your negativity goes up in your mind. Number one. Number two, because it is only a concept, there is no outlet here. It is all happening in your inner system. What happens is the remaining of it, your body takes it as negative sensations or negative feelings. If we understand this, we will understand why negative thoughts cannot be patronized. We should try to not get into association with negativity. Why they are saying that is, this is because of this. Because your mind is a concept, the moment you put your attention, you are actually raising that negativity. You are creating more negativity to come your way. Number two, The other half of it, because your body does not know, there is no outlet to get it, or it is not an action, your body is going to receive half of that through sensations, the negativity, which is what your nervous breakdowns and whatever, right? Whatever happens because of that subtle sensations that you feel. So we have to have this firm understanding that mind is a concept that is taking this, which is responsible for my bundle of thoughts. And these thoughts are the ones that are leading to my activity, whatever is happening. When you try to come back and then say, okay, I have nothing to do with my mind, and hence whatever is happening with the mind, I'm just a witness. Then what happens? Naturally, you're weakening the power of mind. As you slowly start to weaken your power of the mind, the power of soul will start to come. It will start to raise. That is the meditation. And that should come to you in a very natural way. It is not like I'm telling that, hey, you will have deep compassion, you will have effortless peace, you will be very clear why you are serving others. Right? It is not like somebody telling you to do things. You are doing it on your own because you have gone to that phase of it. You're no longer attached by the external or internal entities. That natural state is what we all need. Go ahead, madam. Hemalata, madam. Sorry, I gave a long...
No, it's very useful, sir. Thank you so much.
Good evening, Master. I hope I got my answer.
Yes.
So, yeah, in meditation, like when a person enters a state of emptiness, that feels like sleep. So, in that state, like naturally our head goes, go down or up. So, my question is there still awareness or any form of experiences we face during that state, like seeing colors or any masters?
You can.
If it is
Yes.
sleep, if we are sleeping in that state, so like, do we feel any experiences?
If you're unconscious, then you won't. It's like sleeping, right? It's a deep state of sleeping, right? When you are consciously in that state, what happens is you may probably have, when you are in that emptiness is what everything started, right? This entire universe came from that emptiness. When you go back to that zero state, everything is started from there, right? So whatever is there in that state, if a master is there, he wants to connect with you, he'll connect with you at that state, right? You may probably see him, you may probably see him as a light, you may probably get a message, anything can happen in that stage. But again, right, the idea is to not to get carried away with it. Idea is to receive it as a witness, right? And then slowly get into that witness consciousness, because whatever that oneness, that as long as the duality exists, suffering exists, right? You got to go beyond that state of duality. So for that to happen, the witness consciousness is most important. So when you reach into that state of emptiness, when you go into that sunya, thought may still come and go once in a while. You will still have it, right? And at that point, you probably will have very light breath. Breath is very, very light, very, very subtle. But some panic, right? Saying that I don't have the breath, or maybe I lost the breath, I got to find the breath where it is, and then they come back to physical level. All the way from 6th or 7th step to the first step. So when you let it happen, you close your eyes, you are in that state of emptiness, you just be there, that's it. Then when you allow it to happen, it goes into the next phase of it. That's the most important. And you also will see your awareness is expanding. Okay, it is not like your focus or your attention on the breath is loosening, because you no longer have the breath feeling, because it's all dissolved at the state. You are in that awareness now. That awareness is expanding. That is your indication that you are in the right track. But instead of that awareness expansion, you start to get carried away with the nimittas. And then you say that, okay, I got this light, I'm going to follow this light, I'm going to go. You can do that too. I'm not saying that you cannot do that. You can do that too. That is also another way to kind of go, but it is mind expansion. Right? It is not, there is no right or wrong here. It is just, that's using your mind. You're enhancing the power of mind. That is fine. That's fine too. That's called meditation too, unfortunately. But the one that takes you into the deeper silence and deeper stillness is the one that we were talking about, right? The Vedantic, and then what Patriji talked about, what Buddha talked about, is the stillness. That stillness is why you are here. That's the ultimate goal. And for that to happen, the one that you just said is the first state of it. It's not the last state, the first state.
Okay, Master, why I'm asking is like since November, I started doing Brahma Muhurta meditation every day at 4 o'clock in the morning. So every time I actually, I mean, I got fresh up, and sometimes I get fresh up and do bath before starting meditation. But still, within 5 to 10 minutes, I lost track of hearing guiding affirmations meditation by Master. So within 10 minutes, I don't know, like I go to sleep. Most of the times I doubt myself. I tried experimenting. So whenever I go to meditation in the morning around about, I mean, after 9, or in the afternoon 12 to 1 or 2 to 3 or 5 to 6, any time, if I try doing meditation within 5 to 10 minutes, like I go to sleep. As I said, no thoughts, no dreams, simply but at the same time I don't see any experiences also. I don't feel any experiences. So I tried, like whenever I doubted myself, as you said, like I went back again. My, what is that, identity. I was
State.
losing my identity. Yeah, dragging backwards. I saw that. So sometime, 1 or 2 times I control my body not to sleep this time. I tried that one also. At that time, lots of thoughts, many thoughts coming into my mind. Then I realized, okay, I shouldn't doubt myself. And then
Correct.
I stopped.
Correct. See, the logic mind is gonna play its trick in so many different ways. It is trying to object, for you to go to that state, right? That's where knowledge is very important, right? You have to have the right knowledge to say that, okay, at this state, if I am controlling it, then it is no longer happening, right? Then it is my mind doing it. When your mind is doing it, that is not meditation, right? That is not the real thing what we are looking at. So you should be able to detach from everything, your physical state, your astral, your subtle, whatever you are holding in your mind, right? The memories, whatever it is showing, you just have to detach itself. The only way to detach itself is bring your attention either into the awareness when you are in the state of sunya, or bring your attention back into your breath when you are before the sunya, or even to the fact that where you are, like second level, third level, or fifth level, whatever, right? So your 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 attention or your progression of meditation has to come to a point where you are witness consciousness. That is the goal for most of us, right? Because until you get to that witness consciousness, you're not going to go into savikalpa or nirvikalpa. They're very far away. Most of the time, the inner phenomena itself is where we get lost. Even the affirmations that you are telling is mind playing it. You are increasing the power of your mind.
Thank you, Master. I got a clear picture today.
Thank you, madam. Pinky, Saija, sorry.
Hi, sir.
Hello, madam.
What about the seeing repeated numbers always? I don't get that. Always seeing the repeated numbers like 11, 11, 3, 3. Yeah, after doing meditation, only I'm getting this kind of stuff. Before that, I used to see once in a blue moon. Now, very frequently, I'm seeing this repeated numbers and visions where I didn't go places, remote places like that.
It is absolutely find that your mind is trying to show you things because of your past, because mind is holding the bundle of thoughts, right? Thoughts can be of the past or past lifetimes, or it can be something in the future that it is trying to play it for you, right? In either
Oh,
cases, you have to understand it is all mind doing it. And the second thing is, whatever the numbers that you're seeing, it may be an angel trying to give you a signal. It is okay to pay the attention if you want to
yeah.
know about it, but it is, I don't think anything should shift in your meditation just because you're seeing a number, because no real
Oh,
master is gonna make you it's not like a real master is gonna come and say, okay, now you go from this state to that state, right? They're not gonna do that. A
yeah.
real master will only guide you on your own state by showing you the path, but he's not gonna walk the path with you. He's going to make you walk the path. He will only guide you to say, hey, there is this. When you do
Mhm.
it, you will get that. That's the guidance you get it. Then that is real master.
Oh. And visions, visiting like Manas Sarovar, like that. In the visions also I'm getting.
Same thing. It is either
Yeah,
you are
in
imagining
the
your mind.
in the sleep thing. Yeah, but I
Sleep
never visited there.
Yeah, sleep and all is mind, right? Either it can be your previous lifetimes you probably have visited it, the mind is showing you, or it can be a future thing where your mind is imagining that, okay, you
Mhm.
may have to go there, or somewhere you probably got stuck in that, right? You were attached, or
And,
some kind of
some
emotion is there.
kinds of sense when I'm sitting in the living room, I'm experiencing sense, different kinds of sense passing by.
Mhm.
What is that, sir? Sense I'm getting
What is sits?
sense like aromas. Yeah.
Aroma is basically the indication of aromas is when you are sitting in meditation, and your indication of aroma is astral masters are nearby, or higher spirit
Mhm.
beings. We
Higher.
cannot call it as astral masters. We can call higher spirit beings, right? Higher
Okay.
living beings, or in the nearby. It is very typical that you have those sense and clairvoyances, right? It's part of the clairvoyance. So you
Mm-hmm.
will have that. You will have that feel.
So at the time, what should we do? Like
Nothing.
nothing. Okay. Just
Just
to experience
that's
thing.
it. Correct. They are trying to see, the idea is astral master comes with a higher energy. They try
Mm-hmm.
to, or in fourth dimension or fifth dimension, you can align with them directly. But if you are not in that energy space,
Mm-hmm.
usually they try to come and then give you something, right? They try to either lower their energy so that they can connect with you, or their presence will give you more energy. That's the point, right? So they
Yeah.
try to help you in the meditation. That's their role, but they are not going to do your job. That's See, a lot of times there is a
Mm-hmm.
misconception there that when astral master is coming, then they are helping me do this, helping me do that. They will never help you to do your things. They are not there to do your job. They are only coming
To
to
guide
guide
you.
you in your own way, so that they will never interfere in your free will.
Free will.
No real master will interfere in your free will.
Mm.
That's important to remember.
Yes.
Awesome.
Thank
Good, man. Good
yeah.
questions. Thank you. Any other questions? All right, masters. No questions. Then let us call it a night. We will see you all next week with yet another topic. Thank you. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful evening. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
you.
Thank you. Good night.